Hello all, hope you're having a great day today. Today we're talking about management theory. This is chapter 3. So facility management focuses on managing equipment and structures to make sure they're working correctly, but it also involves a different type of task, managing people. Equipment that needs to be repaired is fixed and will hopefully run smoothly in the future or will be replaced. In contrast, employees have emotions, feelings, moods, desires, and complex personalities. It's fairly straightforward to manage a piece of equipment and make sure it operates effectively. Managing a staff that may number in the hundreds is much more difficult. Thus, facility managers need to focus on their most important skill, which is using management theory and practice to help a facility reach its goals and objectives. So, how will you challenge yourself to grow as a professional in the field? And I'll put that out to you. I hope you take it to heart. I know part of you're doing it right now. You're going to school. You're learning many of the theories that are associated with it, the practices. We'll continue to talk about it. Facility managers have a specific role in making an employee moving up through the ranks needs to adopt a different mindset and perspective to lead others. And so this chapter will provide some tips and advice to help future managers ensure all their employees perform their work in an appropriate manner. And these are our chapter objectives, really to talk about how facility management differs from personnel management, and identify and apply appropriate managerial and leadership strategies, as well as appreciate the need for ethical facility management. And understand how important communication is for managers and how lack of communication can sometimes be the cause of managerial failures. And appreciating how outsourcing can help a facility run more efficiently. So, why is management theory so important? Management is defined as the achievement of predetermined objectives based on goals or missions while working through others, such as employees and contractors. Even a computer maintenance management system cannot run a facility's maintenance process because it requires a computer operator, a programmer, a technician, and people to do repair work. Management theory helps a manager determine how to efficiently synthesize equipment and people. The difference between facility management and personnel management is that facility management involves the use of equipment or buildings to help achieve the facility's mission, whereas personnel management focuses on how people can help reach the facility's goals. Thus, the fact that someone is an expert in HVAC systems or in negotiating stadium lease agreements does not mean that the person cannot manage people. But while facility management and personnel management are significantly different, in fact, they are integrated because equipment in a facility cannot operate without people. So, with this, having to work with existing employees who may not be motivated gives managers one of their biggest challenges and opportunities. That is why motivation and leadership are so important in implementing any management theory. Nevertheless, although a manager needs to learn how to motivate people, being able to motivate does not turn a manager into a leader. A leader is a manager who has the ability to motivate with fewer tricks or gimmicks. Motivation is just one component in the management process and comprises 3 basic elements of first, motivating the person, and then using the job as a motivator, and then creating an environment as a motivating force. By understanding the interrelationships among these elements, a manager can better succeed at getting the most out of employees. Managers try to solve problems or issues using various strategies. If no money for raises is available, conventional wisdom and research is suggested, giving something of value, such as a title, preferential parking, or days off of work. However, communication, both listening and talking with someone, and related soft skills can be the best approach to possibly avoiding a managerial failure. Because not every employee responds well to the same approach, managers need to know their employees rather than simply know the latest general theories. A manager who can track employees' successes and failures will be better prepared to help employees succeed. As a result, the manager succeeds and moves up the corporate ladder. Managers who destroy employees on the way up will fail. In contrast, managers who make their employees better grow together with such employees. Most early research touted that treating employees better and paying attention to them motivates them to work harder and produce more. This started a trend of humanizing employee management and focusing on making employees feel good. Although this is a noble and ethically correct strategy, the results of these early studies were skewed to disprove what really motivated employees to work more: money. When the employees were paid more, they produced more. Management tasks cannot be accomplished without talking, writing, or communicating in some way. A manager needs to communicate effectively, whether through a policy and procedure manual, an employee handbook, staff meetings, one-on-one meetings, or hundreds of daily emails, phone calls, and texts. No one correct way to communicate exists, and every manager has a unique style. Some managers do not need to say a lot and still get everything done. Others might be micromanagers who need to personally get involved in everything and are constantly communicating with everyone out of fear of being misunderstood. Such an approach might turn off some employees who want freedom and want a manager to respect their ability to do their job, whereas others might need that kind of hand-holding. Managers usually customize their communication approach based on the person with whom they are working. A manager should not sit in an office waiting for information to come to her. Rather, he or she should be proactively going out and looking for information by walking around a facility and talking with everyone they meet. A manager can learn about the people who work at and visit the facility and get to know them on their own turf. A manager who goes out into employees' offices and talks with them changes the managerial dynamics. Employees are normally more laid back if they can communicate with the manager in spaces other than the manager's office. Computers are an integral part of any manager's communication strategy. Managers can communicate instantly through emails, texts, and other types of technology. However, the same tools that can make a manager more effective can also hinder managers and employers. Managers who rely on crunched numbers from a computer program might lose out on great opportunities not reflected in those numbers. Getting the most out of employees becomes more critical in a technological era. Computers are changing the way people perform their work. Tasks that used to take a great deal of time may take seconds with new technologies. Instead of the need to take manual temperature and humidity readings for a gym, for example, a computer associated with an energy management system can take the readings and automatically adjust all the HVAC equipment to maintain the most cost-efficient and comfortable levels. But although computers can provide significant value, they can also represent a management dilemma. Some employees refuse to work with computers, or a union can fight automation efforts that save money but cost union jobs. Thus, one of the most important motivational tasks focuses on helping employees embrace computer technology. This is an even greater task for new managers in the field who've grown up with computers and now have to manage people who have been doing their jobs for 20 years without computers. On the flip side, phone use can be a distraction for some, and these employees might not focus on their job, but rather surf the web or text. Balancing the good and bad of technology represents a challenge for managers. Technology is also allowing more people to be creative with their schedules. Some industries allow employees to telecommute as a workplace incentive. However, the sport facility business requires a lot of hands-on attention, which precludes telecommuting and some other strategies utilized in other industries. Facility management has evolved significantly over the years because now almost every aspect of facility management can be undertaken with or through computers. Computer-aided facility management originated in the 1970s, but at the time, it referred to space and asset management systems that also contained a rough computer-aided drafting component. CAD systems, which are utilized in the design of facilities, allow facility architects or designers to plan a facility and move parts of it around on the screen without having to make a new set of blueprints each time an element is changed. Over the years, CAFM has developed to include any technology platform that assists a facility manager in running a facility. Another close relative to CAFM is a computer maintenance management system, which is a computer program not used for designing facilities, but used with a focus on running various systems such as the HVAC system and coordinating all facility maintenance records. There are 6 primary areas in which CAFM has been applied, and we'll talk about those in just a moment. In our podcast that we listen to, some facility management tech tips are: number 1, get digital now. Being able to utilize apps on your phone to turn off the lights at the soccer field. Learn the language of tech. So you have got to learn what it all means. Have a diagram. Have a tech person sit down with you and go through it with you. Adapt a mobile first mindset. Being able to do things from your phone versus having to go to the soccer field to turn off the lights. As well as embracing our partnerships between IT and facilities. They can help you. And so allow them that opportunity. Yes, it's in the front end, probably going to cost a little bit of money, but sometimes you have to embrace that and think different. Try to stay up on the newest technology, what's going on in the field, so that you can be ready for those changes when it's time. These are just a few of my favorites as far as technology is concerned. Using Microsoft Office tools, of course. OneDrive is something that's fairly new to be able to make it shareable with other people. The Google Suite, oh my gosh, Google has they're the bomb with collaborative tools and being able to share with others. Web conferencing tools, this has come about in the last year or so with WebEx, Teams, Zoom, and I don't even know what other things are out there. Of course, Blackboard is our learning management tool that we utilize for grading, assignments, content, delivering content, and communicating. Communication, of course, texting, our phones, email. I use GroupMe, social media, and of course FaceTime with my G-Baby. And then field associated websites. So one of my favorites is Athletic Business, of course YouTube, different journals, podcasts, some job search engines that I use are Teamwork Online for those of you in the sport management realm, the NSCA, ACSM for exercise science, and then Glassdoor, just an overall search engine. Some creativity tools, Pinterest. Who doesn't have a Pinterest page? Screencasting, utilizing YouTube. I know there are others that are out there as well. Of course, I bank online. Amazon's my favorite for shopping online, and then my cell phone, my laptop, my computer are all extremely important. So some computer-aided facility management tools, apps versus tools. So trying to determine, so this is a satellite technology-assisted lines keeper. It has really reduced a lot of people time. Things that are on the job, and just a grueling thing. So you're also looking at cloud-based apps, software, things along that line, and connectivity is something that's important as well. Making sure that you have that for your people, your employees, but also for the people who are visiting your facility. Application of the CAFM, space and asset management, focuses on occupancy information, so how many people are coming in, your space planning, how things are set up, your asset management, so looking at your assets as far as the facility itself, so your rooms and the equipment that's in those rooms, and move management, so looking at changeover, how you can change this space. So asset management focuses on how to use the real estate, how to use your buildings and equipment in an effective manner, along with the need to buy, repair, or sell current and future assets. In space planning, the manager examines how much additional space may be required. If the current occupant utilizes 100 square feet per employee and there are 100 employees, then the utilized facility space is 10,000 square feet. So it's about 100 square feet per 100 employees. If it is anticipated that the workforce will grow 10% in the next year, the occupant will need 11,000 square feet to house the current employees and the anticipated 10 additional employees. This information can be useful for ensuring that each employee has sufficient space, which will help in motivation. A CAD system is used to plan and design the floor plan for the facility to optimize flow and function. For example, if inventory can be moved to a more accessible location, this might save employee time and potential wear and tear on your facility. The CAD system does not deal with the numbers or strategies, but rather with drawings such as floor plans. Capital planning and facility condition assessment track the condition of the facility and equipment to improve operation, maintenance, and management. Employees utilize such a system are able to make sure that the workplace is safe by quickly tracking hazardous and other conditions that may need to be addressed. Employees may be more highly motivated if they have a say in how the workplace will evolve to meet their needs for safety and future growth. Maintenance and operation through computerized maintenance management systems track any asset or equipment that needs to be fixed or any situation in which maintenance personnel need to be more effectively utilized. That will also help you legally if something happens while someone is on that equipment, it has been maintained, and you can prove that legally. Real estate and property management helps track all the space and how it's being purchased, leased, managed, and disposed of. While asset management programs may cover these issues, some programs separate these areas if the facility is part of a very large bundle of properties and there are large numbers of acres and buildings. Catch-all application is used to streamline the entire facility management process or integrate some of the previously listed components. However, the larger the system, the more difficulty some employees may have in operating it. The CAF system is just one example of the changing dynamics of facility management and its effect on employees. Older employees who might have been at the facility for several decades might resist change, whether related to computers, new ticketing procedures, new grounds maintenance procedures, or any other unfamiliar method for accomplishing work-related tasks. That is why managers need to learn how to motivate and encourage employees to embrace change, even if this is difficult at first. And a lot of that goes into training. Training them how to use that equipment is something that's really important. Discussing how can this help you in doing your job better or more efficiently. There is really no best way to manage a facility, but certain strategies and techniques have helped managers over the years, such strategies represent fundamental management trends that have been utilized over time and are as appropriate today as they were when they first have been identified. It is often the little things a manager does on a day-to-day basis that represent great strategies for motivating others or represent leadership in its truest sense. For example, some managers achieve success through being friendly. Not merely superficially nice, they show genuine compassion and understanding. These managers may know the name of every person in the facility and address each person individually. Other similar behaviors include writing personalized thank you notes, remembering administrative assistants on their birthdays and administrative professionals day, always being on time and prepared for meetings, and showing compassion when someone is sick or injured. Although these strategies may not represent structured managerial theories, they are concrete steps a manager can take to get employees to work well. Managers need to be careful that they do not simply adopt the latest managerial fad. Countless management and leadership books tout the greatest managerial breakthroughs. The truth is that no magic pill exists and that managing takes time, effort, and trial by error. The key is to find what works for each manager and his colleagues. One point that everyone agrees is that managers never seem to have enough time in their workday, which makes time management a fundamental ability of a successful team leader. Time management is a very important skill for a manager. Some managers seem to be always putting out fires while rushing from one concern to another. Executives are known to arrive early in the morning and leave late at night. Facility managers must make sure the facility is ready for each day it is open, and a facility manager can easily work 60 to 80 hours a week if the building is heavily used. Thus, any strategy that can help save time means more time to do other activities or accomplish additional work. Computers, tablets, smartphones, and day planners can all be used to remember key tasks, times, and dates. One of the most important time management strategies entails streamlining meetings. No matter what strategy or technique you use, facility managers spend much of their time in meetings. Meetings are held daily to discuss everything from budgets to upcoming events and security issues. Many managers and meeting attendees would also say that meetings are often ineffective. Thus, it becomes important to know how to make meetings more effective. Meetings should be held on a consistent date each month or week, should be held at the same time, preferably early in the morning before the regular workday begins, and should be held earlier in the week rather than later. The following are some other additional meeting pointers. Always be on time. Start and end meetings at specified times. Control the meeting. Do not allow interruptions. Ask people to turn off their cell phones or similar electronic devices so that you can have their focused attention. Create a meeting agenda and distribute it to all attendees before the meeting. Insist that they come prepared. Before a meeting, talk to those who try to control meetings to let them know how the meeting will work and that it is important for them to comply with the agenda and with time restrictions. Encourage quiet people to participate, so ask for their opinion. Get everyone's feedback before making a final decision. This will prevent yes men and women from simply agreeing with the decision. Give specific assignments and dates they are due. Keep meetings friendly by bringing food or small gifts. Before a meeting, develop a strategy to determine what needs to be accomplished during the meeting. Create the proper environment. A well-placed joke or story or video can help set the mood before a meeting. Frame issues as questions and solicit solutions. Every meeting can be titled around a question. Invite everyone who might have answers to attend. Keep all meetings on a tight schedule and do not hold too many meetings. Use walls and other surfaces to post various critical pieces of information and require all those in attendance to contribute something to the meeting. I think that sounds familiar with your discussions. After brainstorming ideas, obtain consensus on the ideal direction and then move forward. Don't overuse PowerPoint. I know this is a big one for me. I use it as a focal point. It helps me to focus. I realize that sometimes you lose interest, and so brainstorming can often be controlled by one or two people. A more effective way to brainstorm is to have everyone anonymously write down ideas on an index card, shuffle the cards, post the cards on a wall. When the top ideas are finalized, hold a blind vote. Write each person's vote on a piece of paper so the results are anonymous. Once in a while, invite a guest speaker for specific training or motivation. Through effectively running our meetings, a manager can develop a reputation as an efficient person. Employees are motivated when managers give them a clear and concise charge. Whether through gestures such as calling employees by their names, through established managerial strategies, or through meetings, managers have numerous options, not just for getting the job done, but also for leading employees. Each facility takes on the management style of the facility manager. Each facility also takes on the characteristics of the facility leader, who may or may not be the facility manager. Leaders also have one critically important skill that sets them apart from others. They hire well. This means that a leader can see potential in less experienced employees and can tell when they have the capabilities to become great. Besides hiring well, a leader can groom others well and train them to be future leaders. In fact, some leaders believe their best legacy is to train others to lead. Thus, leaders spend a lot of time searching for the right people to help them make their team stronger. A good non-sport example is the process of a newly elected president who goes through while putting together his cabinet and his staff positions. We're actually in that position right now, right? By properly vetting each person and looking at individual potential, the president can be surrounded with the best talent, that talent that helps the president look better and produce better decisions. This could include bringing in enemies and rivals. A leader can put aside some disputes for the betterment of the organization. That is what really reflects teamwork, being able to sacrifice oneself for the betterment of the team. A leader should be good at working on a team and should not be afraid to delegate. However, a leader also needs to know when to step back and let others succeed or fail. There is no right way to become an effective leader. However, the tools required of a good leader include being able to identify and communicate a shared value with others, developing and embracing a team concept, choosing the right players on the team to assume key roles that maximize their skills and potential inputs, motivating team members with appropriate incentives, working with team members to achieve their predetermined goals, being willing to work with team members to share risks as well as rewards, being accessible, so having an open door policy, and customizing how to approach each issue or person, motivating underperformers, and publicly recognizing success by others. Being a great listener. So instead of just talking, listen. Being able to convey a vision to others and lead by example and being ethical at all times. The leader and the manager can be the same person. Some managers have gained leadership positions through years of service. And new leaders can also become great managers. There is a significant distinction between a leader or a manager who's been established for a long time and someone who has recently hired from the outside. It's more difficult for a leader to delegate duties when they don't know the employees well. A new leader must prove their abilities even if they were an internationally acclaimed facility leader in a prior position. Steps that a new leader should take include the following. Immediately assess the facility through an internal and external strength, weakness, opportunities analysis. So a SWOT analysis. Avoid a rush to make changes. A new leader needs to get a feel for the facility and its people. Just because a strategy or policy worked at another building does not mean it will work at the leader's new building. Many leaders have failed because they tried to convert one building into the former building, and such an approach failed miserably. That's why it's important to evaluate a facility and its people and not make any changes until the leader really has a good feel for the culture and the facility. Implement change by starting small and then expand as time progresses. Explain all the changes to the staff to get their buy-in. Take charge and make a change if something does not work. Make a major decision with definite cost reductions and then publicize the results. This will show an intention to make the facility better. Another way to follow this strategy is to allow employees to recommend changes and share in the cost reductions. Undertake very visible projects such as repainting restrooms and concession areas. This shows a desire to make the work environment better. Strive for a major victory in the first 100 days. Even if the victory is symbolic, it is important to have something to inspire and motivate subordinates. Take a lead in developing appropriate short and long-term budgets and plans. Review and manage all existing service and supply contracts to see whether services are at a high standard. If they're not acceptable, facilitate change. This will show employees a willingness to make changes. If these strategies are successful, employees may embrace the changes and the leader who implemented them. Even a poor decision can make a manager a great leader if the manager takes responsibility for the decision while identifying and correcting the problem. Good leaders and managers know that what they can and cannot accomplish. Managers can do everything, and if there is an area they are not strong, or if they want to focus on other key competencies, they can outsource the work. Thus, some facility owners do not want to manage the facility at all, but only want to run events in the facility. They may outsource all facility management operations to a company specializing in facility management. Many management companies provide services to both private and public facilities. These for-profit companies attempt to provide optimal services at a reasonable price to maximize value. The owner of a facility, whether private or public, may hire a third company to run the facility as a way to reduce costs or a means of allowing the facility management to focus on its key responsibility, producing successful events in the facility rather than worry about the HVAC system. For example, managers can hire outside companies to complete very specific tasks such as janitorial services, brewing fresh coffee, or photocopying. The facility management services offered by an outsourcing company include a facility analysis and assessment to make sure the facility is running smoothly and tenants are satisfied. They do an energy usage analysis to determine whether energy conservation measures can be taken to reduce the costs. The HVAC and energy management to more effectively maintain and operate HVAC equipment. Construction and renovation management so the owner does not have to hire contractors and tradespeople. Preventive maintenance through developing corrective maintenance plans or installing a computerized maintenance management system. Food stores, cafeterias, and canteen operations. Budget and pro forma analysis to make sure the facility is operating within a budget and not spending too much money. And then housekeeping and environmental services to ensure that the facility is clean and to prevent illegal waste dumping or the use of environmentally unfriendly cleaning agents. Cities, counties, universities, and other facility owners hire privatized facility management for many reasons. A network of managed facilities creates event booking leverage, so you've got more events and better deals. If a management company runs 10 facilities in a given state, it can significantly increase its bargaining power to attract events because it can package the tour at multiple facilities. If each facility negotiated its own contract, some events might not be scheduled because there are not enough facilities interested in meeting the demand or schedule. Increased corporate support, professional staff, results in more comprehensive management, oversight, and on-site assistance. Professional facility managers who often manage outsourced facilities have greater access to facility experts in their companies and do not need to chase after tradespeople such as plumbers, technicians, and electricians. Other governmental and university departments experience reduced stress, time, and budget implications since they can focus on their key strengths, such as rather than running a facility. For example, a physical education department may have to teach classes and manage a facility. With someone else managing the facility, the instructors can focus on their teaching. A private management company is often the most effective means for a city, county, or university to balance competing departmental interests, and since all facilities are treated the same, and athletics will not receive preferential treatment over the science or math building. Privatized facility managers provide more effective negotiation and renegotiation of labor agreements through the ability to focus workers on their specialty and give them specific responsibilities that can be negotiated into their labor contracts. Facility staff will have greater opportunities for professional growth since staff can focus on their expertise instead of trying to wear multiple hats. And private management likely has increased contacts and knowledge, resulting in more ideas, better problem solving. Privatization also provides a shared database and industry research. The cons of outsourcing, of course, some facility owners want to be hands-on and want their own employees to manage the facility. In fact, that is typically the case for many smaller facilities, as primarily the larger facilities or larger groups of buildings that are outsourced. So outsourcing has disadvantages, which include expense. Expenses include an obligation to pay a fixed monthly management fee plus incentives. In some cases, facility owners are better off relying on their own management expertise because they lose control over the facility when a facility management company comes in. Loyalty. Some facility owners fear a turnover of loyalty to the private management company if employees are ever fired or reassigned or if tenants are forced to leave. Responsibility. Private management companies are sometimes put in the position of aggressively pursuing the bottom line at the expense of the owner's goals, objectives, and desires, as well as external responsibilities. the incentive fee-driven cost cutting that would lead to long-term cost increases. If a management company is forced to lower costs, it may spend less on services, which in the long run will damage equipment and create more expensive problems in the future. And then excessive turnover of the general manager due to opportunities at other network facilities. If a management company installs a general manager for the property, that person can develop a great reputation and save money, but may be switched by the management company to a different property that needs management help. So in summary, facility managers must manage facilities and the people who are in them. Although facilities cannot be motivated or fired, employees can. And that is why facility managers have to spend a significant amount of time managing employees. Besides managing employees, facility managers have to be leaders or retain leaders who can motivate personnel to provide the highest level of service quality. Leadership entails making tough decisions, and one of the more difficult decisions may be whether to use an outsourcing company rather than existing personnel. Managing people is an art and an acquired skill. Not everyone is comfortable with managing others. However, leaders need to be found in every facility to take charge and ensure that work is done, whether by employees, volunteers, interns, or independent contractors. By combining current employees and industry professionals along with using information from industry associations, a manager can increase his skills and comfort level in managing and leading others, and the result will be a better facility and work environment for everyone. A facility manager is often called to be a referee in disputes involving other administrators, employees, patrons, external contractors, governmental officials, and media, and many others who can affect those working in a facility. Besides mediating disputes and helping to resolve conflicts, a manager has to serve as a mentor and psychologist at different times. The other major element that necessitates significant managerial oversight comprises all the legal requirements related to hiring, training, promoting, and terminating employees. Issues from unionization to sexual harassment take a significant amount of managers' time, and there is never downtime when it comes to legal concerns. And that is all I have for today, guys. I hope you have a great day. I do have some discussion questions here at the very end. Take care. I'll see you soon.